Alrighty, hi everyone. I'm Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome again with me, Sil from A Life Full of Simplicity. Hi, Sil.
Hi, Brittany. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. A little bit of
That's good.
lag or anything happening. I'm actually like live streaming from my mom's house, Turkey Day, with one of my
Yeah.
turkeys. So
That's
today
good.
is going to be all about our favorite tarot resources. So we're going to have our favorite websites, talking about like the what we like or dislike, and then we'll start talking about more of our physical resources like books. So I'm sorry. So let's talk about websites. I feel like for me, it all comes down to Biddy versus. So why don't you get us off? So which one of the two is your favorite and why? And hi, Sandy.
Um, so I would say when it comes to Biddy versus Labyrinthos, I would say Labyrinthos is probably my favorite. They both have quality resources. I would just say that the definitions or the meanings, the interpretations of the cards, I prefer Labyrinthos because I connect with them better. There's certain I guess definitions or meanings or interpretations that Biddy has that I'm not like I don't connect with, like I don't resonate with them. So for me, I usually don't use her website that much for that kind of work, like reference work or anything like that. If I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
for any kind of reference, it's going to be Labyrinthos for me.
I I started with Biddy, so there's like a level of comfort there, and then I also follow Biddy on Instagram, so we're like familiar brand, but I really like the layout of Labyrinth. I'm more familiar over time, and I agree with you. I definitely like the um, and the different breakdowns they have because what Labyrinthus does that Biddy doesn't do, like um, if you pull this card for a love reading, if you pull this card or career,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So it really helps, especially as I was learning it, me figure out how to adapt the cards for the different kinds of readings I was doing. Cover everything. Just having those extra prompts there to get me be a little more adaptive when I'm pulling cards.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. They do go into like career, financial, and love. Those are the three that they go into. They not only give keywords, but they also give actual blurbs. So you can go with both, or
Mm-hmm.
you can do one or the other, which I also very much like. I would say that obviously people are going to start with Biddy more. I also started with Biddy just like you, and that's because she offers a free
Mm-hmm.
course that you can take, which I've taken before. You can sign up for a free course. She goes through whatever the meanings and things like that. So a
Oh,
lot of people are probably going to go to Biddy first because she offers that kind of perspective where you can actually join a free course of hers and join the thing to learn a bit of the meanings and reading the cards and things like that. The thing I don't like about Biddy Tarot is that she pushes a lot of her paid resources, though.
mm-hmm.
I think she's a great resource. She has a lot of great resources on her website that are free, but she constantly has pop-ups constantly coming up all the time
Yes.
to buy one of her books or to join her actual course that you need to pay for. She has a course that you can become a certified tarot reader and all that stuff. She has other courses as well that you can pay for on her
Mm-hmm.
website as well. And I'm not really a big fan of that. Now, Labyrinthos does have one pop-up that comes up. I think it's to join their newsletter or something.
Yeah,
But other than that,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, other than that, they don't push paid resources as much, and though they do have a shop on their website, you can purchase decks from them. They have decks, they have their own books, they have journals and things that you they don't push the resources like Biddy does. And I'm subscribed to both newsletters, Biddy's newsletter as well as Labyrinthos newsletter, and Biddy sends a lot of spam. A
Yes,
lot of spam.
they
So
do.
if you sign up yeah, so if you sign up for her newsletter, not only are you getting free resources, sometimes she'll send a thing and be like, "Oh, here's a free guide to this," or whatever, but you will get a lot of, emails saying, "Sign up for this course. Here's a sale on this and that,"
Yes,
and I understand because I work in marketing, so I get it, but it's a little too much sometimes, which I think can be very overwhelming for new people, when using resources like that.
I agree because when you're new, it almost feels a little it's not intentional, but that's kind of why I like their Instagram a little bit healthier balance of the things that are going on that they do. Oh, um, and they kind of share more behind the scenes and stuff like that. So it feels more personal. Letter I definitely had to unsubscribe to because it felt very much like buy this, buy this, buy this. We all know as tarot people that it's very, very easy to just want to buy everything. I
100%.
let me let me some of Labyrinthos real quick. I'm gonna share my screen. So so here's an example of the judgment. Okay, so you guys can see about this. You know, this kind of shows their cards. The one thing about Labyrinthos is default um, Rider Waite Smith just for the different pages, but um, despite that, right and reverse keywords, and then it gives the description. So just like if you're someone who, if you're like me and you just want to know the keywords and be done with it, then you're good to depth, like more of a detailed description of the imagery that you're looking at and the side of things, then it goes into like um, a huge description of both upright, and then here you can see how it breaks down loves, and then gives even blurbs for them, and then so I think that's really cool. It it makes my math brain really organized and detailed. So I'm gonna just there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the
So
way they
that's just kind of
organize their website.
I do too, and it actually transitions into why that transitions into their app that they have. So do some quick like if you're more of a game kind of person and you learn better by doing yeah, they do have that built into their app as well. I did a little bit of that. Or if you can't, app has digital tarot, so you could still do readings through it. And then of course so do you have any apps other than Labyrinthos that you like to use?
I've used the Mystic Mondays app. That one I like. You get to pull cards from all three of their decks, so their tarot and both their oracles, so their crystal deck as well as
Yeah.
their cosmic creatures deck, which is their animal oracle. You can do
Mm-hmm.
daily, so you click the calendar and it gives you a card, read the interpretation. There's like a little journaling thing that you can like little prompts that you can click how you're feeling about the card and things like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I do like that one. That one you can't really do readings with. It's just a daily pull and that's it. So if you like daily pulls
Okay.
or want to get into daily pulls, that one's a good one. There's also Trusted, I think it's the Trusted Tarot app. I had that one for a while. I don't know if I still have that one currently. Let me just look at my witchy apps. No, I don't, but I had that one previously. That one was good. That one is only you can do tarot through it. Um,
Oh,
there's also a bunch of apps by Fool's Dog. I think that's the name of the creator, where you can get actual themed. So you can get some of the decks that are out there. You get their full guidebook as well as you can do card pulls and readings through it. They have a bunch of different ones on the App Store, whatever App Store you use. I have an Android, so mine's on it's called Fool's Dog Tarot, and they have, like these ones are paid apps, though, so you do have to one-time purchase, for them. They have, like, the Urban Tarot, they have, like, Everyday Witch Tarot, Wildwood Tarot, Druidcraft Tarot, Tarot Mucha or Muka, Fairy Tale Tarot, Shadowscapes Tarot, like, they have different ones where if you don't want to buy the deck or if you want to sample the deck for only like $5 or whatever it is. I don't know how much it is in the US, giving me Canadian pricing. It's like $5 for me. If you want to
oh,
sample a deck,
regardless,
you
it's
can
not a
do
lot.
you can do that. No, it's not. It's not that bad in terms of price. But if you want to sample a deck, they have a few different ones. If you were looking at a specific deck and you wanted to see more of the images or go deeper into the guidebook and just play around with it for a while, they have those as well. I've never bought one, so I don't know, but I know other people that have bought those apps and they've liked them. So I thought it was worth mentioning in case anyone was interested in looking into it.
Yeah, I it's always worth mentioning. You never know what hit it off with someone, you know. I do know that James R. Eads has an app for Prisma Visions Tarot and Cosma Visions Oracle. Haven't personally tried the paid app, so I don't know the actual details of it. I remember the chat talking about using it for a while, so I think you can do full read it just daily, but it is obviously just for the Prisma Visions and those two decks or whatever decks. He might add more now that he's got. He has the rune decks that came out, so it could be something that expands. It's more or less just those
Maybe
two
I have that app.
from my recollection.
I did pay for it. It wasn't that much money. It was just like $4 or something Canadian or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and right now it only has Prisma Visions Tarot or Cosmo Visions Tarot. You actually have to select the deck that you want to go into first before when it loads the app.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gives you like different options. So you could do like a single card draw, a 3 card reading, a 10 card reading, which is the Celtic Cross, a life map
Oh,
reading,
okay.
and a mirror arc. I believe there's also yeah, it gives you all the cards as well. So there is a library in here where you can click on the card and it'll give you the meaning of the card
Mm-hmm.
in both upright and reverse. So based on the guidebook, I'm assuming. I don't have these decks, so I don't know what the guidebooks looks like, but I'm assuming it's based on the information in the guidebook.
I'll have to do
So
like a I'll have to get the app and see if you know how it compares to both.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
for
have
sure,
the
for sure.
full Cosmo Visions though, so I guess I couldn't really do it with that one. But still more resources, more fun websites that I didn't list that you wanted to talk about.
No, I don't. I don't use any other websites to be honest with you. I know there's probably a bunch, but I only use Labyrinthos when it comes to websites. Majority of the time, if I'm going to use any kind of reference thing, it's going to just be a physical book, probably. So, so yeah, I have a lot of a lot of physical books in my house.
Yeah, so I think that's a great transition into like our physical resources, which are our books, or magazines if you happen to subscribe. But I guess look, what you have the most books, so you can start with whatever pile you want to start off with, and I'll just chime in.
Sure. So I separated my books into three different piles. So I have books specifically for interpretations, meanings of the cards specifically. And then I have books that are specifically touching upon a specific aspect of tarot, whether it be specifically court cards or numbers or, a specific way of reading the tarot, like through self care and things like that. And then I have a bunch of spread books. So I was thinking I would start with the books that are for the meanings. Now I have
Okay.
quite a number of books for meanings. And we were talking about Labyrinthos before, so I think I'm going to start with this first book. So, the first book I'm going to start with is Tarot, Connect with Yourself and Develop Your Intuition, Live Mindfully. This is by the creator and founder of Labyrinthos, Tina Gong. This is one of her physical books that you can buy mass market.
Hmm.
It was published by DK Books. I actually purchased this from I found it at HomeSense, which in the States is the same thing as Home Goods, TJ Maxx, things like that.
Hmm.
So I actually got it for a decent amount of money. So pretty much what you would find in here is literally the upright and reversed meaning. They have keywords and they have the interpretation, a reflection, both in upright and reversed, and then the action in both upright and reversed. So I don't know
So
if you
do you
can
feel like
see that.
it's set up more or less very slight? Do you think he gives a little bit more or a little less? How do
Actually,
you feel
it
about it in comparison?
It goes, in a different way than the website does, and I actually really like it because
Oh.
it gives you, like, how you would reflect on the card in the upright or reverse position, which, the website just goes into the meaning, right? It goes into the description,
Hmm.
it goes
Right.
into very traditional things when you would think of a guidebook, in my opinion. That's how it goes.
Hmm.
But I like the action part of this particular book because I find like people don't always read based on things that they should be doing or what the card is trying to tell them that they need to take, like actions that they need to take. And it gives you clear
Mm.
actions to take, both in upright and reverse meaning, depending on how you're reading it. And it does that for every single card. So all 78 cards, which I really like. It also gives some interesting, fun things in the beginning, like it goes through the anatomy of the deck. It touches upon numerology elements, the core card specifically. It does talk about reversals a bit in the beginning, and it gives you also sample readings throughout the book of how to do
Oh, I
specific
love that.
spreads. So, me too, because I think that it's really helpful when you have a sample reading where it actually gives you the interpretations of how it could be interpreted. So they do that for a few different things. They also give you some sample spreads and things like that. So
Hmm.
I really enjoy this book, and it's very inexpensive. In the States, it costs $25. I think it costs less if it's paperback because I know there's a paperback version. The cover also is not the same in the US. I think they changed the cover, but the information should be the same inside.
I
So
think
yeah.
I've seen that book. Not personally seen it. I've seen about the book. Um, having seen it in Five Below even. So I think specifically the soft cover. I'm assuming. Um,
Yeah, so I've heard that
so
it's
yeah,
at Five Below. We don't have
pretty
that store in
affordably.
Canada, but yeah.
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 That actually is really that book existed, but in my head I was like, oh, it's just going to be a book version of the website. The fact that they
Yes.
have the examples is really I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna have to get that.
Yeah, so I thought the same thing until I flipped through it. And I was like, no, this is not the same thing at all. So I was yeah, I was very excited when I found it. It's a good one. So the other book that I wanted to talk about, actually, this one is specifically the author. I really love this author, this duo actually, Marcus Katz and Tali Goodwin. They're probably my favorite duo when it comes to tarot books. They have quite a number of tarot books that I really like. Some are on my wish list. I haven't gotten them yet. This is one that I have in my collection. It's called Around the Tarot in 78 Days, a personal journey through the cards, and
Hmm.
it gives you everything for every single card, but it does it in a way that's not traditional. So it doesn't go through the cards from the Fool to the King of Pentacles like you see when you actually go through the cards. It has its own way of going through the cards, which I really, really enjoy. So it actually takes a different approach where it goes from like outer courtyard clockwork, like it has like a bunch of different things in the table of contents where it like puts them together in a specific way that makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And I think
Hmm.
it ends with the Fool. So yes, this is a thick one.
Interesting.
It's 300, it's not like three, no, it's like 400 something pages. It has like the name of the card, some key phrases. It gives you numerology, astrology, the Kabbalah, Sabian symbol. Gives you quick connections such as an affirmation and a meditation. It gives you the lesson of that specific card. So there's a lesson for it. Then it gives you the card in your life reading. So it gives you career wise and financially,
Oh,
health wise, relationships, travel and lifestyle, education, and spiritual wellness, awareness and self development. It also gives you things like you are blocking this card today by, and then it tells you how you're blocking the card, tells you how to connect to the card, and it tells you what the Four of Cups says. I was just looking at the Four of Cups, but it gives you like a
yeah.
saying for the specific card that's there, and it gives you keywords for every single card in the thing. This is like a course. So when you go through this, is as if you're doing a course. You're doing a card a day, going through it and answering specific questions and things like that. Yeah, I really love this. This is like a really great book. They have a lot of information in here that I really, really enjoy.
Do you feel
Um,
like that
yeah.
book beginner friendly or more intermediate?
No, this is totally beginner friendly. I would say that
Okay.
this is like an introduction kind of book, but you would be doing it in a different way that how the tarot is like structured. So you wouldn't be going by the Fool
Hmm.
to the King of Pentacles. You would be going in the course that the way they structured it in the book, but you'd be learning every
Hmm.
single card. I think this is a great book for beginners, in my opinion. You can learn a lot about the cards, like, there's a lot of information in here, which is great, and it gives you, like, a different perspective. If you want, like, a more like, a really, really beginner to know the cards, he does have another book. I have it open here. It's called the Smith-Waite. I have so many tabs open. Just trying to find it. Here we go. Secrets of the Waite Smith Tarot, the true story of the world's most popular tarot. I'm pretty sure this one is goes into the beginner, really beginner things of each card. I'm just looking at the table of contents. It goes through like Pamela and the history and things like that. And then I believe it goes into yeah, it goes more into her like her cards and things like that. So if you just wanted to know more about the cards themselves, like artwork and things like that, that would be another book that I would suggest from him. He has some great ones in terms of the tarot. So yeah,
Yeah.
I really love this book.
And I guess I do want to caveat, for the most part, talking from the perspective of the Rider Waite system. And if we side of that, we'll make sure to just put a little asterisk and let you guys know. I have this from the Rider Waite perspective.
Yeah. I yeah, I don't have any books on any other perspective, though I do have a few books open that can include that. Actually, this one includes a bit of different perspectives. I would say if you're looking for like a little pocketbook, this one's a good one. It's called The Tarot by Alan Oken. Understanding and Reading Tarot Cards. It's like a really small little pocketbook that you can carry with you. Really cute. The
Oh.
major arcana. Yeah, it's really cute. It's like it's like $10 in the US. Probably cheaper. You could probably get it cheaper. Um In the major arcana, it gives you primary principle, elemental correspondence, description of the card in the reading, reverse, and then esoteric meaning. Does it give you anything else? It gives you two esoteric meanings. And then in the minor arcana, it gives you primary principle, a meaning in the reading, and then a reverse meaning as well. So it tells you like what it could mean in a reading and things like that. It's a very
Hmm.
basic um, little book that you can have. There's no keywords specifically, like the primary principle could be a keyword. Um, but not really. Some of them I don't really agree with. I think it's just a principle in it of itself. So it's just like
Hmm.
blurbs of information. But it's
Oh.
a good one to travel
Oh, I
with, in
hate.
my opinion.
Yeah, I can see how it would be good for travel due to the size and
Yeah.
all the good information in it. It's just my brain does not work well with like paragraphs. Um,
I feel
welcome
that.
to the live right? Sile? Style? Oh, I think it's Sile. Fancy about it. Um, all right. So, what else in the spectrum of like, I guess, where are we learning tarot? Is that like the tarot?
Yeah. A popular one that I think people learn a lot. Oh, it's Sheila. Sheila?
Oh, Sheila. Hi.
Well, welcome. And thank you for correcting us.
Yes, thank you.
um yeah, so a popular one is this one. It's the 78 degrees of wisdom. It's by Rachel
Oh
Pollack.
yeah,
Yeah, this is a popular one. I
yeah.
started reading it. I
Better
haven't finished it yet. It's
chunky monkey.
this is more of yeah, but it's also more of a book that you would pick up and read if you really want to get into learning about tarot in a different way. So not just learning the meanings, but learning about like tarot and like its associations
Oh, like
with
the history of.
the history and like all those things. Like you do learn the meanings and stuff. She does go through each and every card
Mhm.
to learn the meanings. But it's really interesting of how she connects everything together. So you get also how it like connects with for example, the judgment, like in the first sentence is literally under the sun we see all life as filled with spiritual light. So it really goes back to like the origins and things like that, and I've been really liking it. I've highlighted quite a number of things. You find there's a lot of like connections and things like that, which I think is really
Mhm.
interesting, but it is very like textbook style in my opinion. So if you
Yeah.
really want to get into tarot, uh, like that kind of, this is a really popular one that's recommended a lot, and I really like that. Um, it's actually a really cool book. She goes into a lot of great detail. Sometimes she will compare Thoth or Marseille. So she does
Mhm.
touch upon a bit of that, but the focus is Rider Waite Smith in this book. So
Yeah, I'm not like a. I like books that are more that way I can kind of pick them up as I need them and
yeah,
refer to them. I very rarely narrow books where I have to like sit and read them start to finish. I don't read a
yeah.
lot of books like that.
Yeah. So if you want a book like that that's specifically for reference only, I
Yeah.
actually recommend this thick book. It's the Holistic Tarot, an integrative approach to using tarot for personal growth. This is a really big one. It is like 900 pages almost. It's like 800 and 74 pages. It's a really thick one, but it's great for just picking up for reference. I have not read this from cover to cover. I have just picked it up for reference. I'll go to like the table of contents and then see what it is I want to look up and then look at a few pages or look at a chapter or something like that. It goes through a lot. And this is literally a textbook. I actually
Yeah.
recommend that everyone have this in their collection, to be honest, because it's a great reference book. It covers a lot of different things from um like, you know, history and like fears and offering theories, choosing your deck, the anatomy of the Rider Waite Smith, personal journey. So, like, the glossary of card meanings, logging readings, client notes, things like that, card reflections, practice development, things like this. There's like a beginner um, section. There's a section on keywords, uh significator cards,
I think
first operation. It like goes into so much different things. There's like spreads and all this stuff. It's like perfect for just reference and going through.
I think I've added that to my wish list because you've times. I just haven't actually bought it yet.
There's no Amazon links right now, but we can definitely come back and put some
Oh yeah, for
later.
sure. I definitely forgot to do that, but I will over put the all of the links to everything we talk about in the description. All
Yeah.
right, let's see. I guess do you have another one in this category, or
Oh yeah,
I guess
I
we're
have
in the
two other reference books specifically for meanings and definitions and things. One is specifically for kids. I did want to mention this in case anyone is watching and they have children that are interested in getting into tarot. This one is called the Junior Tarot Reader's Handbook. It's by Nikki Vanderkar and illustrated by Uda Krogman. It's published by Running Press Kids, so their kids line of books. And I really like this. It gives some great information. It has keywords for the upright, and then it goes into like definition. It does give like a brief reversed meaning, but the focus is primarily on the upright. And I think it's a great one for kids. So according to Amazon, the age range is reading age, which they deem as 8 to 12. Honestly, if your child is able to read, even if they're like a teen, I would say this is fine to gift them. I don't have kids, but I think this would be great for anyone, maybe even up until like 15, 16, maybe. Maybe not higher than that. Maybe they deem this a little too babyish, but definitely kids lower than, I don't know what reading age really starts at, but it says
I
8
don't
on
know
Amazon.
either.
But I would say if your child knows how to read and they're a bit younger than 8, I think it's fine. Especially with parents that if they know tarot themselves, I would think they would be able to guide them through the book as well. So I think this would be great. No, probably not. Probably not. I would say there's another book specifically for teens. Hold on, I have it here open. That I opened it actually, by Stephanie Capone. If you're looking, it's called
Oh, that sounds
Guided Tarot
familiar.
for Teens. Yeah. She created a indie tarot deck. She has a few books as well. If you want a good book for teens, I'll make sure to have it linked down below. It's called Guided Tarot for Teens, called by Stephanie Capone. That one's specifically for teenagers. And her writing style is good. I know a lot of people that recommend her regular book, which is Guided Tarot.
Mhm.
So I think the teens one would be great as well if you're looking specifically for a book for teens. Yeah. So that's one. The last one is just one that I really like. It's called Fearless Tarot. It's how to give a positive reading in any situation. And I like this book
Mhm.
specifically because a lot of people deem cards negative, right? A lot of people are scared of
Oh,
certain
oh
cards like
yes.
Tower and
Yes.
Death and the
Ten of
Devil
Swords.
and Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords, like Five of Cups,
Most
Five
of the
of
swords.
I don't know. Most of the swords, yeah. Everyone's scared of those cards. And I understand, though it's just a card. Like it's not gonna hurt you or anything. But this is a great book that
Mhm.
goes into how to change the understanding of the card and just like give it more of a positive light. So try to be more give more positive thinking in terms of the card itself. I do actually really like this book, and this author Elliot Adam has actually another book coming out called Love Tarot. It's specifically on how to give love readings, and it goes into the cards based on like love related matters. That's
Oh.
coming out. Is that
Oh.
out already? I think I have that open. Um, Let me see if it's out already. Uh,
The the concept of interesting. I'd worry though that it like people might try to put in on things, the people that just don't know how to give bad news, so they just make it doesn't do that, does it?
Um, Let me see. So I'll give you an example. Let's go to the Ten of Swords.
Sheila was saying
So the Ten of
that
Swords,
love readings are really
yeah, love readings
you're
are
not wrong
very
in that.
popular, very popular. Yeah. So yeah, I'll give you an example. The Ten of Swords. It says as its like primary sentence, face the source of your anxiety. It says help. The Ten of Swords looks
Mm.
scary. Are we all going to die? Absolutely not. The tarot has done it again, using potent symbolism to get us to wake up and pay attention to something very important. And then it goes into what the card is. So a man on the card is face down, there's swords in his back, blah blah. And then it says,
Mhm.
what fears are you constantly trying to keep ahead of? Is your day filled with thoughts of terrible things that might happen? Do you try to just keep busy so you don't have to face the source of your unease? So it
Mm.
does it well. I find it does it well. Like it gives a positive
Okay.
spin, but it
Yeah.
goes into like, you should think about this. Is your source of anxiety the reason why you're pretending that you're trying to like push things away and things like that? So I find that it
Right.
does do well. It says the Ten of Swords asks you to turn around and face the fears coming from behind. The spilled blood could represent the sacrifice that is needed. Where would
Hmm.
your blood, sweat, and tears be better spent? Certainly not on more anxiety. When you show up in life as a victim, you will be doomed to be victimized. This card asks you to sacrifice and surrender the parts of your identity linked to victimhood, is another interpretation in here. And it goes on to more stuff, but it
Mhm.
does it well in my opinion. So it doesn't sugarcoat things. I think you were trying to say like people have the tendency of
Mm.
sugarcoating things, that
Yes.
things are bad. It doesn't do that. It gives you the
Okay.
harsh truth, but it tells you like you need to face it kind of thing. So I that's why
Yeah.
I really love how this book does it. And I'm excited to see the one that he has coming out on love. It's called Love Tarot. Consulting the
Mhm.
cards in matters of the heart. And I don't know when's it coming out. It's coming out in January.
So
It's
not
coming out in January.
terribly far. Pretty soon.
Yeah. And that's
Does
one
it
I
say how
really want to add
much
to my
it's gonna
collection.
be?
Um, yeah, I have the Canadian website open, so I don't know what the
Yeah.
American price is, but in Canada it's going to retail for, well, it's currently retailing for 27.99. I'm
Okay.
assuming it'll retail for the same price as this book, which in the US is $18.99 USD. So I'm
Mhm.
assuming it's going to be the same
Yeah.
price.
And that's not bad at all because That's a good sized book.
Yeah, it's how many pages is it? Is it
Oh, this is a good question.
311. Ooh, what's
Oh
the
yeah,
question?
that's a great sized book. So Sheila asks, have you guys ever had a message that was really uncomfortable to give, and how did you handle it? Do you want to go first, Phil?
Oh, yeah, I give uncomfortable messages all the time when I do readings. I handle it the best way possible. I try to say like this is what the card is saying. Like this is your situation. This is what the cards are saying. So this is your options. This is your option. I try to say it as an option because obviously you're trying not to push them into a specific direction. It's really the querent or the client that is supposed to make their own decisions. So you're not supposed to tell them what they need to do. But I do present things as options. If someone is going through like especially when it comes to love readings, I've done love readings where
Yeah.
people they want a certain outcome from their reading, and I present it as, well, this is the outcome that the reading is stating, and this is your options if you would like to go forward into this particular situation, or if not, you can go into this situation, this particular route, and give them the options that the cards are presenting. But I usually say that it's up to you, it's your decision, you're the one who makes the final decision
Mm-hmm.
usually. So yeah, that's usually how I present it. Just it's an option, but you do you. After all, it's your decision, it's your life.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, a lot of, I think almost all are some spectrum of a love reading. Um, and the sandwich method where I present like, there's, I feel this is the perfect question to come off of you talking about, turning fearful more actionable. So the there's nothing that's ever so terribly positive outlook within that. So I sandwich the bad news. So a lot of times it's like, if someone's asking if someone cares, no, but there are these other options that are available to you if you want them, or you have to be willing to put in work to get to the outcome that you're looking for. And a lot of times people are not looking for like to be told they need to put in work to do. They just want to be told that everything's going to be, hunky dory at the end of the day. Sandwich method works real well because you give them a little bit of the good news and it kind of like endorphins in the brain, and they listen, they don't shut down. Then you give them the bad news, and then you get follow like, okay, if I go through this, it might be a little turbulent, but I have these good things to look out for while I go through.
Yeah, that's why I find
And,
the first book that I talked about, the one from Labyrinthos that you can get at any bookstore.
mm-hmm.
The action part in that book is so good because it gives you the actions that you can take to gain your goals or go towards whatever you're seeking, but you have to make sure that you're doing these actions, right? Or putting those specific methods in place to be able to get to your outcome if that's what you want.
Right. And I think another thing that I tell people is nebulous, and this is just a snapshot in time that I'm these cards are just at this very moment. But if that reading makes you go back up, then that future is no longer the same. So because you're being told something doesn't mean it has to happen. It gives you it's like that onus on you, so you feel more in control. So that way the current, kind of feels. A lot of times I feel like people come for tarot readings because they feel a little lost or like they're not able to give them that just even a sliver of control. I think is helpful to get them to where they. You can definitely tell the people who do or do not want.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
But
sure.
yeah, Sheila, it's about making sure, you know, the curate feels empowered in some kind of way. And a lot of times it's helping them action things that they should do. You know, helping them identify those solutions. Did you have one more book still, or
No, I'm
because
done with the
I
reference
don't know,
books, like the ones with the interpretations and meanings.
other two categories you had? I'm trying to decide whether I should add this one book into that or not.
Mm. Yeah, the other two categories were just spreads and then books specifically for specific things.
Okay, I think I will add the to the tail end of just like the interpretations.
Hmm.
The Ultimate Arrow. This is by, I think, I don't know if it's Johannes or Johannes Figberg, Feibig, and Evelyn Berger. It looks
Oh
like
yeah, that's
it's a
one I
nice small
recommend a lot.
book. Um, I don't know what it is. 19.99 in the U.S. Usually cheaper and sometimes on sale. But I like this because, like I mentioned, I'm more of a person like things and I'll like tab things sometimes. So what I like about this includes one of the rare instances where it um of assigning elements to the court cards. I find in a lot of things that I don't personally, you know, I kind of put in here that some things are swapped. So I agree with their readings, but I do like that they include them in there because it gets your mind going. But this book basically, what it does, card, it devotes 2 pages to each card. Sorry, get it in there, and then imagery into different categories. So, for instance, this is the magician, and it what the wand symbolizes, what the roses and the lily symbolize, horizontal figure eight, for example. So it breaks down all of those meanings, and then it just gives the basic meaning, spiritual experience, the using the card, uh, love and relationship, success and happiness, and like as it really just breaks it down in an individualized way. And again, you know, my math brain, I really like how it does that. Like for instance, the color of the sky, different colors that are prevalent, and the color starts to help get your mind working. And this is very much based off of, obviously with it's based off of the default cards, but I think being able to makes helps, you know, decks that are based off of Rider Waite Smith, but Rider Waite Smith clones, it helps to make it a little more individualized, so that way each reading is a little. But I do like that. Let me see. I like that there are. Sorry, trying to figure out. Oh, it goes into like in the front of the book where it's just like 10 most important facts about tarot, 10 best tarot, lays everything out at a very like top level quick things. That's a lot of time. So I feel like this is really good for but this also assumes you have another book to go along with it to give you tarot in general. So if you're just looking for meanings of the cards, this is awesome.
Yeah, I like that one specifically for the symbology. So if you're really looking into wanting to look more into like the different symbols that are prevalent in like the original Rider Waite Smith deck, that's a great book. I recommend it all the time with the original deck because it's great to have as just looking into the specific symbology of specific symbols that you see that are very prevalent in the RWS deck. So yeah, I love that. I have it open in my tabs because I don't have a physical copy of that one, but I had it open in my tabs.
Oh, it's really good too. You know, I really like numerology. The fact that it devotes a single page to each card, I could kind of numbers, study the that's the cards that go with it, and um, you know, I really do enjoy this book a lot. It's I wouldn't say it's wanting to hone in on that symbological symbol. If you're wanting to hone in on that,
Symbology, yeah.
then this is the perfect book. Yeah, I word today. All right, let's go into the notebooks in response to like what is it, spreads? Is that or
Oh, you want to go into the spread books?
sure.
Okay. So I have a few. Um, these are the ones that I have right here. These ones. These are
Mhm.
all like different spreads and things like that. My most favorite one out of all of them is probably this one. It's called Tarot Spreads by Barbara Moore. It's called Layouts and Techniques to Empower Your Readings. And
Mhm.
I like this one specifically. Now, it does have different spreads and things that she's created and things like that. And Barbara Moore is a very popular writing expert in the tarot community, just like Liz Dean and Rachel Pollack, for example. They've been around for a long time in terms of the tarot community. So, but I like this book specifically because it has a chapter specifically on designing your own spreads. And I think that sometimes that's
Yeah.
important if you want to learn how to read tarot, that you not only use spreads that are already made, but that you learn to make your own spreads as well. I would say that only because sometimes the spreads that we find, they're not going to cater to everything. The questions that are there is not going to cater to everything that we need.
Mhm.
So sometimes you'll need to change the spread. So you may find a spread that's already done and you're like, "Oh, well, this I don't know, not all the questions fit my needs. Some of these questions fit my needs, some of them don't." So I feel like learning to make your own spread is great because you can also deconstruct spreads that are already made by other people and try to add in new questions or change questions and things like that. And I find that the chapter in here specifically helps with that. So yeah,
Mhm.
there's quite a number of different spreads. It separates them into different types of spreads. There's also an index at the back if you're looking for a specific type of spread also,
Mhm.
um, which is great. So yeah, I do love that. I also love this one. It's just 122 spreads. It's by Evelyn Berger and same person as your book, Johannes Feinbig or Figbig. She also has this book, or I don't know. I shouldn't assume gender, but they also have this book as well with someone else. And there's some great spreads in this as well. They're all um, separated into different thing. I will say that they do use the G slur for Romani people, which not very good. But this is I think an old
I was
book.
gonna say it's an older book, right?
I think so. Let me see the year that it was published. I would hope so. No,
I,
yeah,
I've oh it's
yeah, 1997. English translation
yeah
was
that
originally published in 1997.
yeah, which means it was sometime prior to that even.
Yeah, so this particular version though was published in 2014, so I'm assuming they didn't change anything and they just republished it or anything like that. So, yeah, just be aware
Probably.
that there is the G slur of Romani people in this book. You could easily just cross it
So
out if you buy this book. Just say it,
yeah.
just to let you know.
So since you have like spread books, I've always wondered because you can get spreads like it on Pinterest and stuff like that,
hmm
Instagram.
Yep.
What is the benefit to getting a versus just, you know, you scrolling for free to get spreads?
Yeah. So, sometimes you're not always able to, like, what if you don't have internet access? What if you're somewhere where you don't have internet access? Having a spread book, at least one good one, um, is a is a good thing, I think, especially if you want to take it with you somewhere. Unless you create your own and you put all your spreads into one book. I think having at
Mhm,
least one spread book is pretty good. I would say that if I was to say one spread book that's out there, while I do love this one by Barbara Moore,
mhm,
this one's probably one of my favorites. I would say The Ultimate Guide to Spreads by Liz Dean is probably a better one to have because it probably covers more ground
mhm.
when it comes to spreads. Um, I don't know if they have a chapter on creating your own spread, but they have a lot of that one's high on my wish list to get, along with her other book that I always recommend, which is The Ultimate Guide to Tarot. That one's like the perfect beginner guide to get.
It is. Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Let's hold on one sec. We'll be right back, guys. All right. I think Cell lost internet, so back. All right, guys. Sil is just having issues, so give us 1 second. We will see if we can get her back online. Patient. All right, guys. So I'm so sorry to cut our live stream short. We are not so. We'll just be back next time. We left off talking about tarot spreads, and we'll just finish up with our like other tarot books that we think are that we want to share with you. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Very abrupt end, and I'll catch you on the next live stream. And so saying bye on her behalf. So I will see you guys on the flip side.